Ciao. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live birthday podcast because it's my birthday, period.
What?
It's just me and the bestie today. I don't know where everybody else is, but it's me and the bestie, and we outside in these streets. Hi, best friend. Who we love, baby.
It's your birthday.
It's my birthday. We gotta take a drink. I'm waiting for. Thank you, everybody, for telling me happy birthday. It's been such a great birthday, as y'all can see. My eyes are barely open. It doesn't matter. Who's gonna check me? I got my drink and my two-step. Period. It's just over with. There is Ivan. So today it is myself, my bestie, and my homie Play. And we out here in these streets. We were supposed to have a guest podcaster, Pooch from the Black and Crew podcast. However, Pooch is out there protesting a police shooting that happened in his neighborhood. So all I can tell him was, fight for the cause, bro. I don't know what's going on. The last couple of days been crazy, but it's still my birthday. So that's what we're going to do. We got to start with the relationship topic. I did book Christina Billy, registered nurse. I know I'm gonna mess up her title. I'm gonna let her tell us her title because I don't want to mess up her title. But she's gonna come on and answer all questions COVID related. And I got a few questions that came through already. Period. So everybody got their drink. Everybody that's watching, y'all got your drinks because me and the bestie got our drink. Play, where your drink?
I ain't got my drink yet. I'm still trying to pack because I got an early flight in the morning.
Okay, I see bottles behind you. Get your shit. It's my birthday. I warned you. I warned you.
All right, I'm finna make me one.
Get your life together. Thank you. Y'all, I love my birthday. As y'all can see, I put in a full face beat. My son's like, where you going? Pretty. Nowhere.
Like it's just my birthday.
He was like, why you got on your shoes? Because it go with my whole outfit. Fuck you, man. I understand. Like, it's my birthday. Leave me alone. I've done absolutely nothing. I had a great breakfast. I had Chinese food for dinner. And when you are mom, you completely understand like being excited for Chinese food for dinner. I mean, you ain't cooked. I ain't care where we went.
Ain't no
Chinese was great.
Washed.
That's what's up.
I'm drinking some wine until the other bottle gets here. So this is what I'm drinking currently. So if I finish a bottle of wine and then move to dark liquor, that's me and my business. Best friend, what you drinking?
Just a little concoction I brewed up.
She got a sarsaparilla. Oh, Jack Daniels. I love Jack Daniels. Pull up y'all drinks. Listen, who you got off work? Now you off work. Your drinks have been ready. You should have had your drink ready yesterday. You knew I was going live yesterday. Get your drink together. I don't understand. Like, what's going on? Let's go. Okay, so first I want to take a birthday sip, and then I want to get into these relationship cards. Y'all know these my new thing. Like, love them. So, happy birthday to moi. Let's go.
Happy birthday, best friend.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Play got that 90s haircut going on. What you got going on?
Right.
Man, I just got something done real quick. Because my hair was all over the place.
Thank you so much. He went in there and was like, let me get the boosty.
Let me get the boosty. He look baby down.
Baby down. All right, so we're going to ask these questions. And the first question out the pack, I hope my listeners and my live stream is ready because this question, it says, an old sex tape of you and your ex leaks online. You tell your significant other and they ask you to send them the footage. Would you send it to them? Why or why not? Play.
I don't know. If they want to see it, yeah, I'll let them see it. I'll let them check it out.
What do you think they want to see it for?
Right, that's my thing. Like, what do you get out of seeing that video? Like, that's weird. Why do you want to see that? It's old. It has nothing to do with you.
They trying to get it in. They trying to see exactly what I used to do before.
If you want to see my sex tape, that makes me question your sexuality. Why you want to see me have sex with another man? Like, what's going on there?
Not you gotta question his whole sexuality.
No,
maybe he trying to see. Maybe he trying to see if you did what you do with him.
He shouldn't care. That's
he
old.
shouldn't.
Stop bringing up old stuff. No,
that's old stuff. Stop bringing up old stuff.
Leave that back there.
Period. Leave that on over there. You said what now? What you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. That's funny. I think I'm with Play on this one though. Like, if you want to see it, I'm gonna ask you why. Like, why do you want to see that? Like, I personally don't want to see a tape of my man busting down somebody else. Like, I just don't want to see it. I don't know. Let's see. Oh. So everyone about to die is what the question really is saying. That's all I figure out of the saying that. Period. Everybody finna die.
Different topics.
Vito, thank you for tuning in, Vito. I hope you got your drink. We just took a drink for my birthday, so get your life all the way together. So I'm gonna ask another question. Give me a second. Boom. Okay. This is some bullshit. Okay. A person you love. This is some bullshit. A person you love only likes you. Could you have a friends with benefits relationship with this person? Why or why not? I'm starting with the best friend.
give me that question again.
Girl, I just put it up. A person you love only likes you in return. Mm-hmm. Could you have a friends with benefits relationship with this person? Why or why not?
No. I wouldn't want to play myself like that, knowing that I have stronger feelings for them than they have for me. I wouldn't want to do that because I know that it'll never lead to what I really want it to lead to. So I wouldn't even want to test that out. I would just leave it at what it is. So friends, no benefits. Just leave it there.
Play.
I'm gonna say I could do it. It wouldn't bother me. My emotions don't be involved in nothing like that. So.
Period. My emotions are on the table. Let me just see what he do. Just a little bit. I don't understand what's the problem. Just a little bit. I just feel like if I know what I'm getting myself into. So that's between me and myself. I've actually never. Any of y'all ever been in this situation? I've never been in this situation.
No.
Typically, the people who like me, I like them. I've never been in a situation where like.
Right.
Yeah, that's
weird. Oh no, I don't like it. Yeah.
Right. Like I don't understand. Chris, I sent you the link, girlie. Let me resend it so you can jump on.
Who is Chris? That's the lady that's supposed to talk about the COVID.
Yes, that's the woman that's gonna talk about COVID. She is a nurse. I don't want to mess up her title, so I'll just stick with nurse until she can get on and say what her title is. Because you work hard for them titles, and then somebody be like,
exactly.
This is the surgeon of the big toes. You like, I don't even work with toes. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you be like, oh, okay, cool.
Surgeon of the big toes.
They be making up titles for you, especially in the Black family share. You could be a police officer. Yeah, he undercover in Brazil. Like, that is not what I do. Actually, I work right on 35th Street. I don't know what you're talking about. It'd be like
the task force unit.
Right, he the task force unit. Like, actually, I just drive around and give out tickets. I'm actually a beat cop. I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
look, I'm actually a meter maid. That's it.
Actually, that's all I do.
They still police though.
Hey, I don't care. Police me not. It don't even matter for me. All right, we're gonna ask one more, and then Chris should be jumping on, and then we can get into all things COVID shots. If you have a question about the COVID vaccine, Christina is going to be our person, our expert. Actually, I'm gonna bring her on. She can answer one of these questions, and then we can get right on to COVID. Period. Hi, sissy. What's up, Christina?
What's going on?
Hi, Christina.
Yes. Hey, Anna.
It's lit. It's my birthday, sis.
Happy birthday. 2 years ago, you didn't convince me to go out in the streets, and now we stuck in the house.
I know. I'm the only person to get everybody who are truly introverts outside in the street. Okay, so we're going to do one more relationship question.
Oh, you're not about to ask me a relationship question.
Yes, I am. We got to get one relationship question about you, and then we're going to go straight into COVID. I promise. Yeah, we're just going to see what happened. Okay. A woman musters up the courage to ask her crush on a date. He accepts. When the check comes, he gives the check to her. She's offended. Who is in the wrong, and why do you feel that way? I'm going to go with Chris first, and then we'll tunnel on out to everybody else.
I don't think anybody's necessarily in the wrong. I mean, I don't really know if it matters who pays for the check.
That's a good point.
I mean, she asked him out, so does she pick the restaurant? Does she know that she could afford it when she asked him out? So
that's a good point too.
I mean, I don't go anywhere unless I know I can afford to eat there.
Exactly. Period. Right. You see her glasses? Chris got the frame, Sonny. Let me just. So I'm gonna go to Playboy last. Just y'all, what you feeling? So I got time to play with you. Not today. Just y'all, what you feeling? We lost y'all. Okay, Playboy. I guess it's you.
I guess it's on me. I feel like she at fault.
Okay.
Because she the one who asked him out on a date. She the one who finally got the courage to do it all. So that's your whole setup. You got him out.
Okay.
If it was the other way around, it would be his fault. But nah, it ain't his fault this time.
Okay, so I'm kind of in that shady ground, like kind of like with Christina, kind of with Playboy. Let's get Yada back up on here. Yada, who do you feel like should be picking up the check if the woman asks the man out?
I don't think anyone is in the wrong per se. I feel like if I initiate the date, that I would be the one pretty much saying that I'm going to pay for it. The same, if it's vice versa. If a guy asks me out on a date, I expect him to pay for the date. So if I say, hey, let's go out. I want to go here. This is where I want to take you. Then I'm initiating that I'm going to pay for it. So I believe she should pay for it because she's the one who initiated the date.
I feel like whoever initiates the date should pay, which is why my ass don't initiate dates. I don't want to pay, so I'm just not initiating the date. Like, I'm not gonna go up to no man and be like, hey, you kind of want to go out on Friday night? Kind of not gonna do that because kind of don't want to pay. Like, I just don't want to. So it just is what it is. Ebony says, I think it would be awkward, but she did invite him, so I guess she needs to pay up. I think a lot of people I don't know. I feel like whoever initiates the date, that's who should pay for it.
I will say though, why I was in between, it's rude for anybody just to hand anybody else the check though. Like that's a little. Here you go.
You said.
Okay.
You got it.
I guess I got it. Thank you.
I guess I got it. Thanks for passing that over. We could have had a conversation about it.
But may not have to pay ultimately.
What? Okay, she definitely should expect to pay, but may not have to pay ultimately. What do you mean?
Tell them to elaborate.
Right. You gotta use your TI words. You gotta wait until they count to play. You gotta go there. Yeah, don't hand me no check though. I'm not that great at that because I feel like you're trying to low key be disrespectful in general anyway. But that's just me.
Well, technically, they wouldn't hand it to you because when you go to a restaurant, they sit it in the middle of the table. They don't hand it to nobody.
Right, but I'm taking this question as he pushing the check like.
Right.
Here
It
you
said he
go.
handed her
Like
the
here,
thing.
like
So
making sure you
Yeah,
Oh
get it.
yeah,
Like, hey,
yeah,
yeah.
like
you're
that's how it's
useless.
like.
Like,
Here you go. Like I don't need you to do none of that. Anyway, any hither, we got a couple questions, Chris, right off the bat that I want to get into. If you can first tell people, I didn't want to mess up your title, sis, because like I said before, you had got right back on here. People, we be working hard for our titles, and people just be messing them up. Like, she actually is the official nose picker. Like, ma'am, actually, I don't work with noses. I work with fingers. I'm not sure we got that from. Like, it be all over the place. So tell the folks your title and everything.
well, the title that I want, because my job has a director of breaking news, and I just feel like
Wait,
who
hold
gets paid to do that?
I'm just saying that sounds like something I can do. It sounds like right up my alley.
I want to know what the salary is,
Me too, because I
because
feel like I'm qualified. I got all the breaking news.
right, all the breaking news. What news are we breaking? To whom? To
To
whom?
whom?
At the hospital. Anyway, uh, so I am an RN. I got a bunch of alphabet letters at the end of my name that just means
Uh-oh.
that I took a bunch of certifications to be specialized to take care of children and little babies. Um, so I specialize in pediatrics and neonatal nursing. I currently work in a NICU, which is, the tiniest babies. I am the manager of the unit at a hospital that I
Oh.
don't know if I need to name.
You don't need to name the hospital because I don't want this
on. I
podcast
want to know the name just in
associated.
case I need help.
Also, just in case I
I'm
need help,
just messing
we'll
with
tell
you.
you
I'm messing
offline, Playboy.
with
We will tell you offline, like when you get there, ask for Christina, okay? Because it is what it is. We're not gonna put it out there because then everybody gonna be like, Christina from so and so and so and so said, like,
She work
that
over
is
here in
that
this
is not what she
building.
said. My baby doctor
Um,
is Christina, man. We never told you she was a doctor. Like, where that come from?
Ebony does it all the time. My sister said,
I see the problem.
yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, we started working on COVID at my hospital probably about 2 months before the general public cared about COVID. So, I had my COVID versary way before everybody else did. So, I try to stay abreast of everything that's going on. I have a daily call with
Mm-hmm.
an epidemiologist. She is second in command to the epidemiologist that you guys see hanging out with Pritzker sometimes. So
The one that looked like that lady from Saturday Night Live.
not that one, the other one.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. But I know who you're talking about, yeah.
She looked like that lady from Saturday Night Live.
So, I will try to answer whatever questions y'all got.
Okay, before I get into the questions that our listeners sent in, Play and Yada, do y'all have any questions that y'all want to ask Nurse Christina?
Have you been vaccinated with both shots?
Yes. Back in January, February, I don't know, a while ago.
So when you got vaccinated, do you know what was in your vaccination when they put it in you?
Yes, I looked up the ingredient list before I got vaccinated.
And none of it has COVID in it, right?
No, it has the messenger RNA for COVID.
Okay.
So to be fair, I'm probably going to scare a lot of people, but we all know that this virus was created in a lab, right? So
Correct.
that's not news to anybody. So like coronavirus already exists. That's the common cold. Was one of the viruses that is the common cold. We get patients all the time that test positive for coronavirus. It must be going around Clavia because I hear noises also coming from the other room, and I'm like, what is he doing? Okay. And then SARS, we all have heard of SARS before. Go away. Is the fire come out yet? Go away. Okay.
Yo, these kids disrespectful as fuck, G. Like, they do not care. My son just clean walked up in here like, I got a headache. You got some headache pills. And he's like, what is going on? Like,
mine is talking about farts. I don't know. So, and you know, we all know SARS and the issue that caused a couple years ago, and COVID is those two viruses put together.
Correct.
So, the vaccine, it has the proteins of COVID, and so what happens with the first shot is it introduces those proteins to your body, right?
Okay.
So most people don't really feel much of anything after the first shot. You might feel a little rundown, like you have a cold, right? Like a mild cold. It's usually the second shot that takes people out, because now that you've introduced that virus, like that protein, to your body is doing what it is supposed to do. And it's like, oh, what the fuck are you doing here? And goes into protect mode, and it starts fighting against those proteins. And so that's when people get full on like flu-like symptoms, or feel like their arm is going to fall off, have completely swollen lymph nodes, things like that. And so it just means that your body is doing what it's supposed to do, and it's trying to fight off the proteins that you reintroduce into your body again. And that's how the messenger RNA works. It's giving you the coat that the virus uses, and not the virus.
Okay. So you got any other questions? We lost Yada again. I don't know what's going on with her.
Okay, I understand all that, but like some of the stuff I read, a lot of people were getting false positives for HIV and stuff, and certain states shut it down because too many people were coming up positive for HIV, because they said HIV is one of the chemicals that's in some of the shots.
That's not true. So I did see that was happening in some places, and I would say that those places should have, what they looked into was how they were being given, and
Okay.
not what they were being given. If that clears that up.
So I ain't heard none of this HIV stuff. Actually, you was the first person I ever heard that from. I hadn't heard anything about it. You mentioned it last week on the show, so I did a little research, and it seems like they were very few and far between. But you know, bad news like to spread like wildfire.
Right. It didn't happen a lot, but then you have to think that like people have been sneaking COVID vaccines. People have been giving them illegally, things like that. And so when you do stuff like that, you tend to do things like share needles and get needles from places where you shouldn't get them from.
Okay.
And that is how you can give HIV to another person.
Yeah, I understand that. But the states we actually saw, because they shut it down in a few states. I'm in law enforcement, so we actually got the paperwork on it and everything else. So that was my only concern. They study putting this stuff out there. Nobody knows what's actually in it. For a whole state to shut it down,
what's in it.
It had to be something wrong with it.
She said it lists what's in it. Listen, I don't know nothing about all of that, but I think those are good questions. I didn't see any of those things. So obviously I don't have much to say.
I mean, I will. So I can say that I did see that when it came out, and I went and looked into it, and that wasn't a thing. I asked the people that I work with, who I trust, and I mean, and I know, and I don't trust. I work in healthcare, and I don't trust healthcare, because as a Black woman, I have been fucked over numerous times in healthcare. Unfortunately, I have had to slash my badge a number of times to get decent healthcare, even at the place that I work at. So like, I understand the mistrust, and I understand all of that. It took a lot for me to decide to get vaccinated. I will be honest. It took a lot.
Okay.
My 6-year-old has severe asthma. That is one of the reasons why I got vaccinated. My job is not, even as a major hospital, is not forcing anybody to get vaccinated. But I think about, I work with immunocompromised patients. Babies don't have immune systems. And at the end of the day, when I finished my research and I did all of the talking to all of the epidemiologists that I know and infectious disease people that I know, this was a safe thing. I posted a picture, like they offered to take pictures of us when we got the vaccine. I posted the picture of myself, and you can tell I was scared shitless. Like somebody was like, "I wish I could have come and given you a hug," like that first shot. But I have yet to turn into a zombie.
I was looking
I
forward to the zombies
You and me
apocalypse.
I
both.
mean,
I
yeah.
swear I want to see somebody like boom.
I do not have HIV.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I was recently tested. So here's another reason. Here's another thing. So I was recently in the hospital, right? And I'm gonna be
Okay.
100% like transparent here. I was recently in the hospital and I had blood clots in my lungs. The first thing I asked was this caused by the COVID vaccination? Because some brands of the COVID vaccination have caused it. It's not the brand that I got, but I was like, hey, now listen, what's happening here? I was sent by like I said, by the people that I trust, all of the research studies on the brand that I had. They were like, well, as far as those other two are concerned, we're still figuring that out. This is the one that we gave here and guarantee you that this is not costing that. So like I said, people that I trust, people who I would put my life in their hands. I did not ask my doctors that whose care I was under. I asked the people that I trusted that.
Right.
And also, that's how I know I don't have HIV, because you go to the ER and they test
Yeah,
you
I
for
heard about it.
everything
I had
under
heard
the
about
sun.
this in Illinois.
I
I
want
was
to
like,
say,
I didn't even. Why are you testing me for all this stuff? Like,
what is going on? Okay, so we do have a few other questions that I want to get to.
Okay.
On Instagram, TGO Menzia. The antibodies are gone in 6 months. But how do we know if how do we know it's not leaving a effect on our DNA? I think I'm asking it right. The antibodies are gone in a few months, but how do we know it's not leaving a lasting effect on our DNA?
Oh, like it's not changing our DNA.
Yeah, I think that's what he's asking.
So you, as in, like, hard to answer that without being able to ask a clarifying question. So, as in, like, we're using messenger RNA to deliver the the vaccine, is that changing our DNA? So if that's the question, it's not changing our DNA. It's just how you get the proteins into the body and get them into the blood across the blood barrier.
Okay.
If that's the question.
Okay. I'm assuming that's the question. I'm not sure if he is on or not. Devon, if you're on, you can clarify that question for Christina. Lipstick Laundry Podcast. What's up, sis? She want to know. She said, I heard about possibly needing a third dose. Is this true? So like an additional booster shot, right? I'm assuming that's what she's asking.
Yeah, so that's true. Chances are you're going to need a third dose, and chances are you're going to need a dose every year. So it's going to be like the flu shot.
Like the flu shot. Okay.
Yeah.
I see nothing wrong with that, actually. I don't get the flu shots. So, yeah. My doctor was trying to get me to get the flu shot the last time I was in there. And I was like, I'm good, sis. I just didn't see the need to get the flu. I did last time I got the flu shot. I think it was what H1N1 was out.
Yeah, so let me tell you the difference between this and the difference between the flu shot. So the flu shot is a crapshoot. Let's be honest.
Okay.
Sometimes they get it right, sometimes they don't. Right? It's based off of what strain of flu was most prevalent the last year.
Okay.
Which is stupid because Australia goes through their flu season right before we do, and they could tell us what strains
What the strain?
yeah. which they did this year, which is part of the reason why we didn't have a flu season this year. So part of the
Okay.
reason is everybody's 90% of people are masking and washing their hands better. And the other part is for those who did get the flu shot this year, it was a better flu shot, right? Because they were like, we're not playing around this year. We're just going to take what Australia says and go with it.
And go with it.
We got enough to deal with COVID, right? And with COVID, as strains appear, so for instance, the third shot that both Pfizer and Moderna are working on already accounts for the new strains that have popped up.
Okay. The ones that they're saying are more, they're easier to transmit, right? So it's like the European vaccine, the European strain and all of that.
Yeah.
Oh, COVID give me a headache, child. I don't know about nobody else, but I think I need to refill my cup because COVID, it's a lot. And then I feel like we were given so much, I won't say incorrect, but incomplete information at the beginning of this. It's hard to trust the information that we're getting now, right? It's like, which one we believe? Because your first shot told us we ain't had to worry about it. Then y'all was like, actually, had your kids, had your wives, COVID killing everybody out here. So it's like, I ain't know what was really going on.
I see Ruby's question. So messenger RNA is like a train. So it's like you put what sequence of, so your DNA is like a zipper, right? And so the messenger RNA tells it complements the other proteins and it tells your body what proteins to make. So it's like, I want you need to make protein A, B, C. So I'm going to send you the 1, 2, 3 so that like I'm directing you to make those protein, which is why we need the messenger RNA to get these proteins in the body so that it tells your body, hey, you need to make the protein to go against this protein so that if you see it, you can fight it.
Okay. Play, did you have any other questions? I got one more from social media.
No, I don't think I got no more questions.
Are you sure? Because we know you a conspiracy theorist. We could tell. You ain't have to tell nobody. We already know.
I ain't no conspiracy theorist. I just look at facts. That's like
you was like, don't use masks, condoms, don't get vaccinated, stay away from drugs. Like we don't know what to do with you.
My only thing is like didn't more people die from the statistics I looked at? More people have died from the flu than COVID.
Yes, that is true. The flu is a very dangerous virus. Very dangerous, and people don't realize that.
So my thing of it is, why haven't they implemented something beforehand to try to stop the flu better? But they going all out for COVID.
They have. Nobody listens. Quavia just said she don't get the flu vaccine.
I won't. It made me sick.
Yeah, I ain't gonna get it either.
The COVID vaccine is gonna make you sick too.
And you see last week what happened. I got scared and canceled that joint. You want to know why? Because it's my birthday today and I was scared I was going to be sick.
I mean, think about it. The last 2 plagues that we had were the flu.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the flu is extremely dangerous. And it changes quicker than COVID does. We've had it now in bats, rabbits. H1N1 was a bird flu. Rats. That was the bubonic plague. Like, so. By the way, just so everybody knows, everybody that's not getting vaccinated, you want to know who has COVID right now? The mice. So just if they get in your house, they're bringing COVID with them.
Damn.
Yeah, I just want to put that out there because, they're coming in and out because of the cold, especially right now because it's not supposed to be cold and it's snowing today. So I just want to put that out there. The flu is extremely dangerous, isn't it? The flu kills people every day, and it bothers me how lackadaisical we are about the flu, except for this year. Previously.
I feel like this year they were more serious and on us about like get the flu shot because of COVID. And the symptoms are
It's
so
that,
similar.
and it's also everybody put on the mask, wash your hands every 5 minutes, and so those are the things that also keep you from getting the flu
Mm-hmm.
because it's also a respiratory virus, right? So by means of trying to keep everybody from getting COVID, guess what? You don't get the flu. And countries that have low flu rates are countries that have been masking for years, even before COVID, like Japan and China. So,
Mm. Okay. That makes so much sense. Okay, we have Ashley, my grad school sister, she got a whole bunch of questions, so I'm gonna go in stages with her. um, are they using people who are getting the vaccine as just simply test subjects?
if they signed up to be a test subject,
Period. Next question. Do you feel that the vaccine came out too fast?
no.
So can you actually elaborate on it? That was one of my questions last week.
Why it came
Um,
out so fast?
yeah, I had somebody
So,
explain it to me, but I would like for you to explain it to
so
people.
typically, what happens with the vaccine or any drug is that they have to raise money for the drug vaccine to be created, right?
Okay.
And then they have to raise. So that's just to make the drug. Somebody's like, "Ooh, I got this idea. I think I figured out the science. Let me make the drug." First, they have to raise money to get the drug made.
Mm-hmm.
Then they make it. Then they have to raise money. They have to get the government to sign off on testing it on human subjects, right? So they have to fill out all this paperwork for that and then raise money to get subjects to test, right? And then fix whatever's wrong and then go back again and test again and then fix it, like however many times they got to fix it. And then go back to the government with lots of paperwork and all this stuff and get funding to put the drug out into the public. That takes years.
Okay.
What happened with the vaccine was we had an emergency. And so the one good thing that the Cheeto did was he got rid of all the red tape and gave millions of dollars of funding to COVID vaccination programs.
Okay.
And people who had COVID willingly signed up for testing the vaccines. So it came out
Okay.
faster.
Period. So I had that explained to me. It did make me feel better because I was one of those people that was like, well, how they get it out so fast and blah, blah, blah. But knowing that everybody just kind of worked together to get what they needed definitely is.
And wouldn't it be amazing if like life just worked that way and we didn't have to go through all this other shit to get things that we needed? Like,
Period. Um, and the last question, because you answered one of these questions already, the last question is, which vaccine should we really be getting? I think that's everybody's question right now.
I've been told
you should
Pfizer
get
is the best.
Pfizer or Moderna. Do not get Johnson Johnson, which you can't get right now anyway.
Okay.
Right.
Do
What's
not
the
get
other one? AstraZeneca?
AstraZeneca. Yeah, do not get that. And those are the only four that I know of that are currently legally out right now. Now keep in mind, I think I mentioned this last week. These are out for emergency use as well. So when things like what's happening with AstraZeneca and Johnson come up, that does have to do with it being out for emergency use. So, and it has less to do with the vaccine for at least for Johnson & Johnson. I don't know what's going on with AstraZeneca. But at least for Johnson & Johnson, it has less to do with their vaccine and more to do with their facilities, which numerous facilities have had to be shut down during production of their vaccine because they weren't up to code. So also, I mean, their vaccine is less effective. There's, this, that, and the third. And then, like you said, that was the last question. So I have to give my things that people are lying to you about. They keep telling you we're going to get to herd immunity by the summer. We will not. Too many people do not want to get the vaccine. Fair enough,
Okay.
whatever. So we will not. But what they are, I will say to those who don't want to get the vaccine, they are banking on people getting the vaccine for a safe plan for opening the schools fully in the fall, because children cannot get vaccinated. They have no choice in this matter. So in order for them to safely return to the schools, the people in the schools should be vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then on top of that, 16-year-olds can now get Pfizer, no, Moderna. And by the summer, down to 12-year-olds should be able to get both.
Okay. So I do have a question though. If
Mm-hmm.
from your knowledge, if you've already had COVID and you have antibodies, do you feel the person should still be getting the COVID vaccine?
Yes.
So those people who had it and they like, I don't need to get the shot, maybe you should consider doing your research, talking to somebody that's a professional, not me, because I'm
And they
not.
used to say that you couldn't get it until 90 days, until your 90 days after you had it were over,
Mm-hmm.
but they will give it to you now, with like even if you had it within the last week.
Okay, that's good to know. So I will link below a link where you can research COVID and also where you can potentially make your appointment to get your COVID vaccine. I want to thank Christina so much for coming through and answering all of our
Thank you,
questions
Christina.
Of
because
course.
we ain't medical professionals. We just people with opinions. That's it. But thank you
Oh
so
yeah,
much,
because
sis.
every adult is now eligible in the state of Illinois.
Right. In the state of Illinois, every adult is eligible. So you can get your shot when if you want to. And that's it. So thank you, Christina, so
Of
much.
course.
Mm,
Oh, my thing is empty.
okay, so we're gonna remove Christina. We lost Yada, but we still gonna keep the show going. So it's a lot going on in Hot Topics, but the one thing I want to focus on, honey, is the game and his tweets. So, Playboy, did you see the game's tweet?
No, I ain't
In
seen
which tweets? So the game tweeted out pretty much that if you niggas want a roommate, just say that shit then. So what happened was he tweeted out how his woman will never pay half of any bills in the house, like he taking care of it. That's what he gonna do. Blah 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 blah. If your woman go to work and come home, clean, cook, and take care of your kids, and you still got her paying half the rent, you a clown.
Oh, see, I
And
thought that
dudes
was
going
Kevin
clean.
Gates who said that.
No, it was the game. It was the game. So how you feel about that?
I don't know. I'm a different type of guy, so my situation don't go like that.
Okay, so how your situation go? Playboy.
I feel like you a man. You supposed to take care of this stuff, and your woman supposed to have your back with anything if you fall short of something.
Mm-hmm.
But for the
Hey,
most part,
one
the
question. I
guy
don't
pays
even
for
mean to cut
everything.
you off. This is very random. I'm so sorry. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we
Yeah, we can hear
can.
you.
Did Christina have Android?
Yeah, she does have an Android.
See, that's what the fuck. Cause I swear to God, it got so choppy and I couldn't hear. All I kept hearing was feedback, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
So this is very
I'm
random.
sorry,
But
sis.
I got a question.
I'm not talking
Dang.
about your Android, but I see what was going on. I see my problem now. Okay.
Okay, so we're talking about the game's
I'm
tweets.
sorry.
We are talking about the game's tweets, how he tweeted that his woman should not have to go to work, come home, cook, clean, take care of them kids,
You
and
better
pay the
preach to the
bills.
choir.
So Playboy said he
He
a
was
different type of
spitting.
dude. Huh? He was spitting. Fan was spitting hot shit too. Fire, hot fire. Dylan. That's what you mean. That's what you was sitting like. I'm like, what you mean, baby? Listen. Playboy said he a different type of dude. That's not his situation. If you in the house with him, he taking care of them bills. Though this sounds amazing, I am one of those women who would prefer not to have to cook, clean, take care of them kids, come home and budget the checkbook and help pay bills. I would love that. But let's just be 100. We don't live in a society where sometimes that's okay. Depending on your lifestyle, you need both incomes to make sure y'all cool, like comfortably cool, and not just, okay, he taking care of all the bills, but I'm over here doing, whatever the case is. That's just my thought process. But please jump in at any time, because that's just how I feel about it.
Man, I was
like I
taught
said,
as shorty.
the game was spitting.
Game was spitting.
I was taught as a shorty.
Look, when you right, you right.
And take care of what you got to take care of. I
Take
go on
care
all
of
these trips and everything else. So I might as well be able to pay for the household if I need to.
Okay. He said, okay, I don't have nothing to say. What if I out-earn you? Woo, child. What if I out-earn you and want a larger home that you can't afford on your salary? She can afford it, but you can't.
So we need to talk about it. Figure something out. I'm gonna have to step my game up. I'm a hustler by nature.
Not by nature. Period. Well, listen, I don't know. I want a man to pay my bills, but I'm just gonna be 100 with y'all. It's just the lifestyle that I live. I don't know. I get this weird thing too about like a man, like, okay, you taking care of everything in the house, but do you feel like you're the only person running shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, does my opinion no longer matter because you paying all of the bills? Like, I feel like there's a real conversation that got to be had there.
Nah, some people are like that. I got some guys like that, but I don't feel like that. I feel like we both gotta say so on everything. Just because I'm paying for the house and all that, don't mean nothing at all.
Period. I don't know. I had somebody ask me last week, was you single? Is you?
Yeah.
Somebody asked about Brock too. Brock on the other side of the fence, sis. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, sis. He on the other side of the fence.
Hey, where Brock at anyway? He cool as hell. He should have been up in here.
Brock should have been here, but I reached out to can you pay my bills? Can you pay my telephone bill? Yo, I didn't eat my
Brock
drink.
cool as hell though.
Brock is cool. Brock, I will have to reach out to him to be a permanent guest host because he is hilarious. There are some other things that did happen in the news that we gonna talk about.
See, I don't think it was an Android. I think Yada got that iPhone 6. That's why she going out.
Right, because she keep going in and out. I think it's Yada the whole time. It's her internet though. The whole time it's her internet. All right, so she talking shit. I'm not watching them kids. I'm going to work.
First of all, it's not my internet. I got a call, so it went out. I'm sorry.
Yo, Ebony, I'm with you. What if I don't want to watch these kids? I go to work. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if we live in that type of lifestyle where you paying all these bills,
watch these kids.
The little income that I get,
the fuck out of here.
They going to fuck. This little income that I'm bringing in, and you taking care of these bills, will be paid for a nanny. You better talk to somebody because it won't be me. I am not your mama from 9 to 5.
Well, we don't not having no nanny.
Mama. Who ain't having no nanny?
I ain't doing no nannies.
Shit, watch me. Where them kids at? With the nanny?
I'm gonna get the old grandma nanny.
I don't want the old grandma nanny unless it's like my grandma. Because Granny ain't gonna
my grandma.
Girl, you be watching them old hidden nanny cams on Maury.
I do.
Let an old grandma hit my baby. Bitch, it's up for her. Fuck you mean. Like, I don't know.
But you want a nanny though.
It's up for her. If you touch my kid, man, bye, baby. Me and the teacher got into it because he grabbed my son on the arm. Don't grab him. I don't care what he did. Don't grab him. I don't get no fuck. Like, what you talking about?
Like, don't touch him, touch him.
Listen, I better
Dang,
not see
this
not one lay on the couch,
what dude
dust
sent
on the
this
blinds,
message?
and bedroom need to be busting if that's how we rolling. I ain't gonna even front. We're gonna go back to that. We're gonna go back to that.
Not busting,
I do
busting.
feel like being a stay-at-home mom, wife is a job. And it's not, it's not as glitz and glamour as we would love for it to be. It's, taking cleaning this house. The house is always clean. Dinner's always made when he come home. Like the bedroom got to be busting. I feel like the bedroom should be busting anyway, though. But that's
Shit.
neither here nor there. Those are just things. But I agree. If that's how we rolling, then it's certain things that should be discussed. Like, I don't know if y'all watch. I know y'all do. Huntsville, Love and Marriage Huntsville. And one of the couples on there, Marcel and Tisha, he wanted his wife at home, and she was at home. How long y'all for like 12 years or something like that? She was at home. She was a stay-at-home wife. And she just was tired of that shit and wanted to go back to the workforce. And I do think that it gets a little much because it's like, when do you get a break from them kids? Because I ain't even frank. Love my kid, need a break from my kid. Just is what it is.
Send them to the neighbor house to play with the kids.
What neighbor? Who neighbor?
Your neighbor.
Nah. Me and my neighbor got into it about a parking spot. My baby can't go over there.
Oh.
Me and my neighbor was outside. Like, if you park on my spot after I shuffled it one more time, I swear to God, you're gonna come out here on 4 flats. It's up. What you talking about? Like, it just is what it is.
Like, we're gonna have a problem.
A whole problem. So I can't send my kid over there. That's over with. Bridge burned. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. In other news, it's 2021. We don't know these neighbors. Do anybody know their neighbor for real? In real life? No.
Somewhat.
See?
Somewhat.
You do not know your neighbor. You're going to send your child over there. You don't even know him.
We talk. That's about it.
Oh Lord. Okay, so we have to touch on a little bit of the Derek Chauvin. Oh, Chris know her neighbors. I don't know my neighbors. All I know is that my neighbors get on my nerves. They always park in front of my house. And I've been here for a year and they always parked in front of my house. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna talk about this Derek Chauvin thing really quickly. I didn't want to spend too much time on it because I didn't want this show to be too serious, but I do think we need to do our due diligence and address it. And one of the things I want to address is the Las Vegas Raiders tweet, "I can breathe for 2021." Do you all think that the tweet in itself, and I want to put it on the screen, but do you think that the tweet in itself was of ill taste? I can't, I don't know what happened to the thing, but it won't show up on the picture. Whoop, there you go. Maybe. There it is.
Yeah, that would go right there. That's good.
I wouldn't say it's in poor taste, but like my thing of it is, like I keep telling everybody keep on saluting that he was found guilty and all this. I keep telling everybody that's not the problem. You don't want to see if he's guilty or not. You want to see what they charge him with. The same thing that happened with Laquan McDonald. Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, he going to jail," and then when you look at it, yeah, he could do 3 years for that. That's it. I don't care about what they sentenced him. That's what came out. He could do 3 years, and they'd be like, "Okay, your time served." They could run it all congruent, but everybody looking at a guilty plea as, yeah, they did something this time. No, they didn't. They did the same thing before.
Okay. Yada, do you think it was in poor taste, the tweet, and like how do you feel about the whole situation in a whole?
I don't think it was in poor taste, really. I mean, they could have not said anything, but I feel like if they didn't say anything, then it would be like they're not being supportive. So I feel like either way, it would have been like a lose-lose situation for them. You get what I'm saying? It's like sometimes sometimes if you say something, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So it's like even if they wouldn't have said no, it would have been like, oh, so y'all don't support, y'all don't care what's going on.
Yeah. On Facebook, it says they need to read the room and then spell check it. No, period. Period. Um, Another Facebook comment. It was tone deaf. Um, and I get what they meant, but nah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and somebody said that's what I was also afraid of. So this is the thing here. And Ebony stated this case doesn't mean we can breathe. So this is the thing about the verdict for me. We didn't I understand what Ivan is saying, like, we celebrated the guilty plea, but we really need to understand. I think here in Chicago we know for sure how it works. We saw the officer who killed Laquan McDonald literally get sentenced to 6 years plus time. He already had time served or something like that. It was something like that. He ain't doing a full 10 years. He ain't doing no time for real, for real.
Yeah, it was
So
supposed to be a
hearing,
total of like 30 years, but
yeah,
they ran it all congruent, which is drop
congruently
it down
instead
to
of
3 years if they
concurrently.
want to.
Right. Okay.
Wow.
And he had the option to appeal. Right. In the Laquan McDonald case, he had the option
Yeah,
to appeal. Um. So for me, it was like we are happy, and I think a lot of people understand that we are happy that he was found not guilty. We understand he's probably not going to get the time that we feel he deserves for his actions, but being heard and seen and
Mm-hmm.
understanding that, like, when we burnt down the cities and when the protesters went crazy, it wasn't completely in vain.
Mm-hmm.
However, I was getting ready to get to this. The reason I couldn't celebrate because I knew it wasn't going to end. And not even 2 hours later, a 16-year-old girl was killed by a cop yelling Blue Lives Matter. Um, as far as the Las Vegas Raiders, I do think it was tone deaf. They clearly did not read the room. However, from my understanding regarding that tweet, it was a direct quote from George Floyd's family
Mm-hmm.
when the verdict was read. His brother
Mm.
said, "I can breathe," and so it was supposed to be
Okay.
like a quote. However, I
okay.
still think it was in ill taste because it was just put out there
Mm-hmm.
with like nothing.
Right.
Like that's like somebody walking in the room like, "Fuck you," and then like walking out, you like,
Like, who the fuck
"Well,
you talking to?
hey, what did I do?"
Exactly.
Like I'm just sitting here, like it just didn't make any sense. However, then we have the 16-year-old girl who was shot, and I've seen people like when I talk about Facebook debates, honey. I'm sure a couple folks in Facebook jail right now because
Yeah.
they was
It's
going back and
real
forth.
touchy.
It's a touchy subject. Because I thought the brother said he can sleep now because he hasn't been getting his sleep. I'm gonna look further into this and I will post it in the Facebook group, you guys, and confirm what the brother said. Based on what I saw, it was that the brother was like, we can breathe, and so they posted, I can breathe. But I just
Mm-hmm.
either way go, I think it was an ill taste. I just think it was an ill taste. Definitely didn't read the room. However, then we have a 16-year-old girl shot 4 times in the chest by a police officer. In the video, they say you can hear the cops saying Blue Lives Matter. I did not watch the video. I cannot watch videos like that. It just don't sit right on my soul. Um, However, people are saying, he could have did everything else. He could have tased her. He could have did this. And other people was like, well, he stopped her from killing the other girl because she was swinging that knife at her
Mm-hmm.
face. So it's like,
At that
is there,
point,
yeah,
you got
like,
to figure out who life matters. Like at that point, it still would have been somebody family hurt in the end.
yeah. But do you think that like and play you can talk deeper to this what are you got like what are they like he couldn't have shot her in the leg, he couldn't have shot her like he aimed for the chest, like I don't understand what's going on here.
We not trained to shoot in the leg. We're not trained to put nobody down. We're trained to eliminate a threat. So in eliminating a threat, we're supposed to take them out by any means
Mhm.
necessary. And that's what a lot of people fail to realize. That's just like the 13-year-old that got shot the other day. He had a gun in his hand, and the officer saw the gun. And when he turned, I can't say what he saw because I
Mhm.
wasn't there, but I would have did the same thing. I probably would have put more bullets in him. Because at the end of the night, I'm trying to get home just like I want him to get home. But if somebody has a gun, that's what I'm supposed to do.
But how can okay? So like Q stated, but at the same time, the cops have other options. I'm not a cop. I don't fucking know. What I'm saying is like for the okay with the 13-year-old with the 13-year-old Adam Toledo, 16-year-old Micaiah Bryant. With Adam, I feel some type of way, and this is why. Micaiah, I feel some type of way too, because I didn't been the girl with a knife. I didn't been all of these situations. But with Adam, I felt some type of way because the cop, and like I said, I could not watch the video, so based off of my accounts of what I've been told and kind of like reading whatever. If you tell me to turn around my hands up and I turn around like this, and you don't give me an opportunity to even see if my hands are up, why tell me to do that? He, from what I saw up until the baby got killed, he turned around with his hands literally up, like my hands are up. So how did in those 2 seconds, where like you said, we don't know what he think he saw or what he claims to have seen, but in those 2 seconds, there's no way you analyze the situation to see that his hands was up and that he no longer had a weapon.
Yeah, like if you watch it full frame, you see that he actually had the gun in the right hand. So as he's turning, like he should have turned the opposite way from which his gun would have been on the opposite side of him.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing of it was, I don't know if he still had the gun and was trying to drop it at the same time. But anybody see a gun, they go shoot.
Yeah.
But what do you mean he should have turned the opposite way? It's like in that
Because
point of time, in the heat of the moment, you're not thinking like, damn, I should turn left instead of right, or I should turn right instead of left.
or
Like that's
or
not going through your
or he
mind. Who's
or he
thinking
should
about
have
that?
dropped the gun, or he should have dropped the gun and then put his hands up.
But he
But
did.
with
The
him,
gun was found behind the gate.
right?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
That's
how
from
did
the
he
way.
have his
That's
hands
from the
up
way
with the gun
everybody
still in his
looked at
hand?
it. If you watching
Mm-hmm.
it, they got it on. I believe that's CNN. They got it in slow motion, and it shows everything where he dropped the gun at. It's on the
Mm-hmm.
same side where the cop saw the gun in his hand before he turned around.
So do you honestly feel that in 2 seconds you can analyze the situation?
No, because I from the video camera, I can't. I wasn't in the situation. It would have had to been me personally in the situation to see what happened.
I agree with Christina. Why do you all carry tasers if we gonna start shooting first?
Well,
Exactly.
where I'm at, we're not allowed to carry tasers,
Mm-hmm.
so I can't answer a question about tasers. And then from what I know, tasers are supposed to be on your opposite side, and tasers are lighter than a regular gun. So
Exactly.
I don't know how somebody could tell a difference.
Okay.
Well, they can't tell a difference. You know which one is your gun and which one is a taser.
Mhm.
Okay. Now with Ma'Khia Bryant, it has been determined that her father was actually watching the fight or was there standing outside. As a parent, as parents, all of us are parents. Do
Mhm.
you think he should take some type of accountability for what was going on here
For what event?
for Ma'Khia Bryant?
I didn't see that one.
So I'm
So that's
getting
the
two different sides. So you said the father was out there, then somebody else was saying that she was like, and it was somewhere else I read she supposed to been like foster care or something like that, and she was at the foster home and it happened. It was like a 30-year-old she was fighting a teenager.
yeah.
It's
So
like so
it
many
from
different stories out right now.
so from my understanding, it was a grown woman. So we'll say 30. We'll say our age, and trying to fight a 16-year-old. Either way it goes, that's wrong in itself.
Mhm.
The girl called the police to de-escalate the situation to help her with the situation, and the knife was there as a protection. So it was a 30-year-old and some like a little girl, we'll say, like, whatever, trying to fight her.
Mhm.
That's the story we're getting currently. Obviously, as we get more information, because this is so fresh and so new, as we get
Right.
more information, we'll figure out exactly what was going on. However, it's being stated that the parents were watching. um I agree with Ebony here. We have witnessed the cops de-escalate situations with way more threat. Mass shooters get arrested without
Mhm.
a scratch. Goddamn, Dylan ass, they gave him fucking Burger King after he killed those
Exactly.
people in the damn church. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
why is it that when in the black community, when the police is called for assistance or whatever is going on, we not making it home?
Exactly. When you see
And
Man,
black, your first thing to do is shoot.
see that
and then they
the
wonder why we
thing
don't
with
trust
that
the
is
police.
the thing with that is I'm explaining it this way. We have 100. I'm gonna just say 100 members in this group.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is totally different. You don't know
Mm-hmm.
what people are willing to do, and that's the same thing with police. Police, all police officers are different. Some of these people grew up, they was bullied when they was younger, so now they think they badasses. Then you got other ones doing it just for a job. Some of them know how to relate to the public. Some of them don't. Somebody know how to talk somebody out of a situation. Every situation is different. So that's why I say all cops ain't bad and all cops ain't good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not one of those people that feel like all cops are great. I'm also not one of the people that be like, all cops are bad, because I just don't believe that. That's the same way I don't believe that no other lives matter when we say Black Lives Matter.
Right.
So I'm not one of those people that's just kind of like whatever. I'm just saying that it's just, to me, it seems as if the black community is at war with the people that have been deemed to serve and protect us, and we
Mm-hmm.
should not be at war with them. And that's what it feels like. Um, Tamir Rice was killed in that same amount of time too. This is true. They literally rode up on Tamir Rice. He
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even at the park for a minute. The cop wasn't even there for a full minute, and he killed that baby. There was no analyzation of what was going on, and I think that's the issue for a lot of people. I think that's the issue for a lot of people. Facebook user wants to know, how would we feel if the young lady had actually stabbed the other woman that she was fighting? Would we have a changed opinion about her being shot 4 times?
Yeah, I said she's still a kid. Like if it's your child, would you want your child? Would you want your daughter shot down 4 fucking times? Like I have a daughter. I wouldn't want to see my daughter that way.
Yeah,
Like if you're fighting, okay, I
I
understand.
hear
Like you shouldn't know. You definitely shouldn't stab this person. Do I think we don't know if she would have died or what would have happened if that knife would have got to her? But do I think that other child should have been killed? Absolutely not.
yeah,
Like it's not okay. It don't matter what the situation is. It's never okay to take a life like that. Not saying, like I said, if she would have stabbed that girl and that girl would have died, that still would have been wrong. That would have been wrong as well. But it's like at this point, the police had an option. Like
yeah.
that girl, she was defending herself. So at that point, if you come to my house and you're bothering me, you came to my property, so I'm defending myself. The police, you came to de-escalate. You didn't have to kill me to de-escalate the situation. It's other ways you could have got that knife out of her hand.
It's the Blue Lives Matter for me.
Exactly. Like what the hell? It's a
What the
kid. Like
fuck
her
is the
life
blue
didn't matter.
life? I do think 4 shots is excessive. You you get out
Like
the
you could have
car.
let off
He
a warning shot or anything. You could have
like
shot
I
the
feel like
air or
he
something.
literally he got out the
we get in
car.
trouble
Pop,
for warning
pop.
shots.
So y'all not apparently hell, y'all don't get in trouble for shooting motherfuckers. Y'all think that shit is okay too. Not you. I'm not saying you personally, but because you are one of them. Like you on that side to me right now. Like you a friend, but you on that side too because that's your occupation. Not saying that you
Right.
would do anything like that, but at the end, like shit, like that's who you running with.
4 shots is excessive, bro. 4 shots is excessive. It just is what it is. 4 shots
Mm-hmm.
before you even really get out your goddamn car. 4 shots
Exactly.
is excessive.
At this point, all you saw was a knife and you instantly started shooting. You didn't think
Yep,
like, hey, let me try to see if I can break this fight up. You didn't think any of that. You just went, let me just shoot. And like you said, y'all shoot to kill. You're not shooting to just hurt somebody or just like pop an ankle or something like that. You're shooting to kill.
pretty much.
For
Yes.
for that question,
We got to read the
you
question.
you why is it that the white people can have assault weapons and they get taken into custody alive?
Exactly.
You got to think about the places they being taken in at. Everybody, I hate to say it like this because I'm not racist, but everybody fears black people. So white people, they feel like they can talk them down out of any situation. They treat white
Mm-hmm.
people totally different from us. They're afraid of us. So that's why they treat us so differently when it comes down to anything. Most of these white cops are scared of black men. You could jump at them and they go jump. And they got a whole gun on
Mhm.
their side. They scared. They're intimidated.
So how do we adjust that, right? Like, how do we adjust that as people? Like,
Right.
I was talking to one of my friends. Like, my son goes to school in a different school district, and I noticed that in that neighborhood that he goes to school, the crossing guards are police officers. Like, that was wild to me, right? Because I was like, oh. But then I started noticing it was the same police officers. It was the same police officer in the day, and it was the same police officer in the afternoon. Um, and so then I was like, they build a rapport with these kids, right? They know the
Right.
kids. Because now they like, oh, Johnny, Billy, Bob, Keshawn, whoever the fuck, whatever the hell is going on. Like they know every single kid that has been going to this school because they've crossed them across the street every single day for 365 or whatever the case is. And so I feel like in a lot of those neighborhoods, they've built that rapport. So when Billy do something stupid, Billy get put in the back of the squad car and get taken to his house because now Officer Shittenberg fucking know Billy them and he know Billy this ain't what you supposed to be doing. Whereas like in our neighborhoods, we don't necessarily have that rapport with the police. We just don't.
And that's because we have such a bad name. A lot of people don't want to talk to us. And a lot of times you do have officers that want to help out people. They talk to them. I know a lot of officers that give food, give money to help out anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you get that bad name. Oh, we don't fuck with the police. Fuck the ops. This and that. Like I said, all police ain't bad, but people don't want to give them a chance.
I agree. I think there is somebody wrote, I think there's an issue when police officers are given the authority to unilaterally decide who deserves to live and who deserves to die. That's an issue for me.
It
That's a big
definitely
issue
is.
for me. Because at the end of the day, like I said, if I call you to my home, you know what? It's not even just that deep. This is what I really think. What needs to happen? Okay, when Cubana analyzed some shit, what I think needs to happen is that there needs to be one more social workers on duty as police officers, however that looks, train them to be in the field, whatever the case is. But I do think there needs to be social workers because a lot of the times the police officer get called to situations that really require social workers and therapists and not necessarily a gun and a cop who they're not built to handle these situations. I do think that's what needs to happen. Um, and the fact that a police officer can decide that he felt like I was reaching for a gun that wasn't there, so I have to die, is an issue for me.
Exactly.
I fear for my life she was reaching for a gun. I don't even own a gun. What gun I was reaching for?
Exactly.
You've been a cop for 24 years. You can't tell the difference between my gun and my phone,
But see,
my
it
seatbelt.
it's not even that. What people don't realize, everything that you do is a paper trail. That's like, for example, when people be like, man, it's only one dude in that car, but they got 4 or 5 squad cars on him. It's what comes up in your report. So your background leads, a lot of times your background is what causes a lot of officers to be there or a lot of officers to be scared. Because when I run your report, I'm seeing you to been caught with guns. I'm seeing you to rob places, this and that.
But
Yeah, I'm gonna call for backup.
you think you need 8 units for somebody? It's one of them
It's
and
not.
like
It's not
12
my
of
call.
y'all.
It's not my call. Once I go
It
over the
is your
radio,
call because you decide if
it's
you're gonna
not.
call backup or not, right?
If I call for backup, they see what I see. Or once the dispatchers see
Then
what it
you
is,
determine if you're
dispatchers
calling backup, right?
automatically do it.
So
Huh?
what she's saying is though, as the cop, when you get on the mic, I
You
need
can determine
backup.
your
You
situation
determine.
if
No.
you need
When
the
I
backup. You can.
half the time we don't just type in your license plate. We call it over the air. So what they see is what we see. So they tell us what's coming back on their information. Because I hate to say it, what I do, I don't have a computer in my car. So I radio it in, and dispatch tells me. So dispatch will tell me, yeah, we're sending additional units.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know. And if it is something that comes back bad, yes, you're supposed to automatically call for backup.
What
Okay.
if it's one of those situations where they refrain for some shit where they were like, because that happens a lot too, where people are wrongly convicted for stuff and it still shows up
It
on their
is.
record.
It
So do
is,
y'all
and
still
that's
approach
what
that the same way, even if they were proven innocent?
it don't tell us that. That's when
And
you
it
have to
should,
go
but
to
it
the
should
courthouse.
though. Like they should
No,
have
no,
that
you have
option
to
for y'all
go.
to be able to see that.
You should go to the. They have to go to the courthouse to get all that fixed. A lot of people don't take the time to do that. Like everybody should
Okay.
know what's on their record.
Mm-hmm.
Get it expunged if it needs to be expunged, or get it took off. It's ways to get stuff done. Like if you change your life around, I know a lot of guys. I grew up in the hood, and half of them to change their life around, but some of the stuff still comes back on what they done did.
So I do want to talk about this real quick. There have even the white men who have had cops in complete chokeholds. That's a whole threat. There's a video out right now where a white man was pulled over by a white cop, literally put his hand on his weapon, told the cop, "I'm going to shoot you," and he drove off. He did not die.
Is he not? He
He
wasn't a threat.
drove off. Wasn't arrested. Wasn't anything. So this is the issue.
It's the skin that's a threat, not their actions. At this point, it's the skin that's the threat for them.
Right. So that brings me to this. It's more than fear. As what one of our Facebook users stated. We're not gonna just dance around racism. They are racist. You may not be play, but your coworkers are racist. And at the end of the day, that's just what it is. As somebody who's raising a black boy, I am not gonna even front to you. I loathe the day that he gets his license and he's driving. I'm scared
Exactly.
because of the world that we live in. He's a threat simply because he's black. Fuck the fact that he's an honor roll student. Fuck the fact that he plays basketball. Fuck the fact that he's intelligent. None of that's going to matter. He's going to be a threat just because he likes rap music. Because he's black. Because y'all brought him over here. Because y'all brought us over here. We was fan where we was at. Y'all was too lazy. So y'all brought us over here. We was minding our business. Period.
The sad fact of it is, until we have our own, we still gonna have these problems. Until we fight back, we still gonna have these problems.
But we fight
can't
back.
come together.
I don't think that's true.
We've been fighting.
I don't think that's true. I don't think it's that we can't come together. And I don't like, y'all know me. Y'all know I'm so pro-black. I don't like that narrative. I don't think that's accurate. And I do think that the media tries to control what people see us protesting against. We had here in Chicago, we had a little girl who got killed in the McDonald's drive-thru, and they would love for y'all to believe that nobody was protesting that. But that's not true. Like, that's inaccurate information. They would love for you all to believe that Chicago doesn't protest the gun violence that we have going on in our city. That's not true. So it's like, I feel like mainstream media makes it seem like it's just, we don't really get no fucking unless it's the police, and that's not accurate information. Play, you're being asked, what was training like for you, and how does your training compare to these types of situations?
Actually, all our training is the same. All of us get trained from the same spot. And to these situations, I'm not even gonna lie to you. That little 13-year-old, if that was me, from the way it looked to me, he would have had more than one shot at him. I would have took him out. Because at the end of the day, I gotta make it to the crib. Like everybody always talking about, oh, this a kid, this and that. He's a 13-year-old. What does a 13-year-old have with a gun that was fully unloaded? So that means he dumped them bullets somewhere. He was shooting them bullets somewhere. But they don't look at the fact of that. So what if he would have shot me? Then y'all would have been like, oh, dang. Well, he was only a kid. He did it by accident. Don't nobody look at the facts of that. They just look at it, oh, a cop shot a kid.
But would you sing that same tune if it was your kid that was on the other side of it?
If my kid had a gun, I would be
you would
pissed.
You would want somebody to shoot them down. Like you said, if it was you on your side, you would have put more than one bullet.
I would. But at the same token, I have to realize that my kid had a gun. That's like when I gangbang. I knew what I was out there doing. So if I would have got shot, yes, I knew what I was doing.
I have issues with that only because here in the
not.
city of Chicago, they do carry tasers, they do carry guns. And in this situation with this baby, Adam Toledo, he turned around with his hands up. Now, whether this police officer saw a gun or not at that time, I feel like there was no time for him to fully assess the situation at hand before shooting that baby in the chest, period. And if as a cop, you are not trained to look in my job. When I tell y'all I look at Excel sheets all day long, I look at Excel sheets all day long. I am trained to point out a mistake. It might take me a while, but I am trained to point out a mistake. I can literally glance over something and be like, this is incorrect. You need to do X, Y, and Z. So for a police officer to be like, okay, well, I fear for my life. I told him to turn around and he shot the gun at me, because that was the first story that we heard. Let's just be very clear. It was a blatant lie that baby pointed that gun at him. And that's the problem. You lied because you knew damn well you shot that baby.
You're trying to cover your ass.
And that's the problem. And that's the problem with this Ma'Khia Bryant situation. You killed that baby, 4 shots in her chest with no just. You did not assess the situation. It wasn't assessed. That was the problem.
Like, one time wasn't enough. Like, what the fuck?
It's just, it is what it is. And like our Facebook user says, what about when I'm standing in my front yard and I get asked for my ID because your coworker doesn't think this is my house?
Exactly. What about that? What's that?
Asking what I'm doing around
with that. Technically, it's about knowing your laws. You ain't got to say nothing to the police. You ain't got to give them no ID.
Yeah,
you ask for a sergeant. You ask for a sergeant.
Then I'm dead.
Instead of asking for a sergeant, you get killed, and nobody knows your side of the story.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna put it like, oh no,
that's why everybody pop up cameras now. A lot of time that deter cops from doing stuff.
But why should it be like that though? Like, why do we have to live like that? Like, it's not like you're saying like it's okay and we should just be content with living like this, and we should.
No, I'm not saying we should have to live like this, but like my biggest thing is I'm from the Nation of Islam, so I'm pro-black. But the thing of it is, until our black people come together and fight back, they gonna keep treating us like this.
Okay.
We won't do it. Every other race stays together. Like I know plenty of white people that don't like this white neighbor next to them, can't stand their guts. But the moment something happened, they got their back. Black people are envious of other black people. Look at the PPP list that just came out. People are shooting people and robbing them, our own people, because they mad because they got money and they do the same thing.
First off, that list was messy as hell. Let's just put that out there. Like, why would they even drop some shit like that? Like, that's messy. You got people who got their baby daddy on child support looking like, oh, you got this money, what's going on? Where my cut at? Like, that was messy as hell. Like, why y'all do that? That was real messy.
It was so messy, and it was so unnecessary.
That's our people.
But let's just let's just keep it 100. Like, I do think that as civilians, somebody just put in here like, we're the civilians. I don't understand how the people with training and the guns are the ones that scared. We're expected to be more calm in a situation with a gun pointed at me than the person holding a gun, and that makes absolutely no fucking sense.
No sense at all.
I'm just gonna be honest. I got pulled over the other day in my son's school district because I was speeding. I didn't realize I was speeding, but I was. And when he pulled me over, I was so nervous that I low key like panicked, clammed up. My son in the back seat, he nervous. He coming. This is my 11-year-old. The police is coming. You need to get your hands out your purse. He 11. I'm in my purse looking for my insurance card, everything like that. But he's scared that this cop is gonna think that I'm reaching for something else. So, mommy, get your hands out your purse. Like, I just feel like that shouldn't be our reality. Like, I don't want my son scared of the people that's supposed to serve and protect him. I didn't take an oath to serve and protect Pookie, but these cops did. I didn't.
You're right.
So,
but like I said, a lot of people that's police, they shouldn't be police.
Period.
They shouldn't.
Like, I'm not even gonna.
But how do y'all weed that out though? How do y'all weed that out?
Yeah.
You can't.
Like, at that point, it becomes like, because that's weird.
You in a union, so even the officers that you work with, that you know be on bullshit, you can't get them took off the job. Like, it's a handful of officers that I trust with my life. Other than that, no, I know they ain't gonna bust a grape.
How do you do that job though? Like, how do you feel comfortable and okay to go to that job every single day, doing that, knowing what they do?
Because
that's something that you're a part of.
Because I work in the hood I was raised in, so I know the people. I'm not worried about the people, so I'm not scared.
So, did you choose to work in the neighborhood that you grew up in because you felt like it was a different type of
You felt it
policing
was
that
a
was
safe
needed?
zone, right?
No, it was I was kind of forced to do it. My uncle wanted us out the streets, so he appointed us to work in these positions.
Okay. Um, this was a good one. That's why I saved it for last. Hold on, Christina. I need to. It's a lot going on in the Facebook comments. Y'all give me a second. I have tiny lives in my hand every day. If I did my job with the lack of detail that cops are done, y'all babies would die.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as far as the Derek Chauvin case, he stared into the camera for nine minutes. And this is the thing that blows me about this whole case. No bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you ever in your life, if I tell you I can't fucking breathe, tell me if you can talk, you can breathe.
Exactly. Bitch, I said I can't breathe.
Right, like
What part of that are you not
what?
understanding?
My baby came to me and said, "Ma, I can't breathe. Ma, it's taking me a long time to catch my breath. Fuck you mean? Let's go do what we gotta do. Cause who am I to say he can't breathe? Just because you telling me what's wrong don't mean you're not having a hard time breathing. The fuck? That blew me, bro. Blew me. That has nothing to do with race. I'm not sure what we were talking about. We're not gonna do the black on black crime trope today. Oh no, we definitely not doing that. So I ain't worried about it. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. We ain't doing that black on black crime bullshit ass made up ass statement today. Not on 421. Not on Kibana Day. We won't.
Period.
We won't. It's not Black Lives Matters us standing together. When we stand together, we get ridiculed, plastered over the
Mm-hmm.
news as terrorists. Come on, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Talk your shit.
Okay. You spitting, bro.
You
Okay.
spitting, bro. Talk your shit. So, Ivan, as a black man on the force, what are you doing about it? It's not on one person, but are you standing up? And how do you deal with the racism that you see?
That's a very good question. Like, do you turn the other cheek and
No,
be
I
like,
don't
it
turn
ain't
the other
me?
cheek
Or what do you
because
do?
I'm still a hothead. Like I blow up in a minute. Like I got into it with a chick a couple of weeks ago over that, calling somebody a nigga. No, you're not gonna do that. I'm not paying that shit. And dude, let
Mm-hmm.
it go. He let it go. Like, dude, are you serious? Over nothing?
Mm.
Cause she was pissed at him over a parking spot? Get real. But no, I don't turn the other cheek toward racism.
Okay. We was just wondering.
And then with the whole
Um,
Black Lives Matter thing, I don't support the cause of the Black Lives Matter. I don't.
Sure.
Because I feel like if you feel like Black Lives Matter, you like I know niggas who done killed little kids over nothing. And it was by accident. Don't get me wrong, it was about accident, but you still did it. But y'all don't want to tell the person who did it. That little
that's
girl
not
It's
lost
what
the,
her
Black
like
life.
the
Lives Matter is
Wait,
for.
Listen to what I'm saying.
it's the
So
same
my
thing. The
thing,
police, y'all kill kids
my
innocently
thing of
too,
it is
and hide and lie about what y'all did
if
and
y'all
why
not
y'all did it.
helping,
He had a
if
gun.
y'all not
He
helping the
didn't.
black communities and all these other people, these black people that's killing other black people. Okay, for example, when we had all the
Cause you
riots
know I'm
and shit,
finna lay in on your ass. So you go
when
ahead.
Tap that
when we
ass,
had
okay?
when we had the riots, the black people was robbing the black communities from their stuff. Like I'm not even talking about the big businesses who can replace their shit, but y'all know these niggas that look at the businesses now that can't reopen and they lost everything because the black people robbed them. So how can y'all say Black Lives Matter? Y'all didn't
Okay,
protect y'all own.
pause. Nope. Pause.
No.
Fucking pause. First of all, Black Lives Matter was not created for this bullshit black on black crime bullshit that everybody
Mm-hmm.
likes to spit. That's not why Black Lives Matter was created. Black Lives Matter was
Mm-hmm.
created indirectly for the cops that were killing black people simply because they're black people. We're saying to you, cops, Black Lives Matter to you. Because what people like to do is switch the narrative. Y'all mad
Mm-hmm.
at cops for shooting black people, but Pookie out here shooting black people. Pookie ain't take no motherfucking oath. You did, Officer Shenanigan. That's what the fuck you did. So it's up to you to uphold that to uphold the oath that you took. If I call you to help me in a situation, that don't mean I want somebody to die. I want you to help de-escalate the situation. Clearly, I've done everything that I needed to do to de-escalate it. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if a cop kills a black person, 9 out of 10, they are not going to be held accountable for it. However, if Pookie kills a black person, Pookie, if caught, will be held fucking accountable, whether it be by police or the streets. He's definitely gonna be held accountable. So I don't like that whole Black Lives Matter is not for black people. That's not accurate information. We need to understand the history behind Black Lives Matter, because that's sounding real like, oh, okay, it's cool to kill you niggas because you killing you niggas. Like, no, that's not how that's gonna work. I ain't never let that go.
Play, you giving me real op vibes today. I don't know
op vibes. Op in this bitch, because I don't know what he on.
Op vibes right now. I don't know what's going on today.
No, I ain't no op, but I just feel like we should do more for our people. That's it.
March of Dimes is a nonprofit for premature babies. I don't see anybody upset with them for not carrying children born with cerebral palsy under that same umbrella. Facts. You don't see nobody talking about something. I know y'all talking about breast cancer right now. Hold on 1 second though. We're gonna talk about prostate. Like, fuck you mean? Like, that's not how this works. I do agree though. We're gonna wrap this up because this is definitely a philosophy problem. This is systematic. This goes way deeper than any of us could ever imagine. It's not about property. Most of the people who own businesses in black neighborhoods are not black. Y'all love that argument. We are supporting. Were you supporting those businesses before? Where you buy your groceries? Where your girl get her edge control from? And who makes your laundry detergent? I know that's my sis Didi. On top of that, and stating that as well, it was also determined that black people was not the ones starting them fucking fires. So, on that note,
it depends on what neighborhood you was in.
In the majority of the neighborhoods, and they came out with the pictures. Them white boys was down there tossing them fucking cocktail bombs in those businesses and burning them.
I'm not talking about downtown.
And I'm not talking about downtown. I'm talking about in the neighborhood that I'm living in currently. It was the white people. And on top of that, a lot of business owners were burning their businesses down because looting was not covered in their insurance policy, but fire damage was. So we also need to stop that.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, okay, give me 103rd. 103rd, it was the black people that was breaking in them black people shops. I was there. I was helping other people fix their stuff up, helping board up. What about River Oaks? Our niggas is the ones.
Is River Oaks still open? I thought it was kind of like Evergreen Plaza.
When y'all saw the looting going on, and you saw niggas with forklifts driving down the street with washers and dryers on it and TV, that was black people in River Oaks. I don't care who owned the store, but it was the black people. But when I talk about the black people that fucked up other black people, yeah, that was on 103rd, all down King Drive. Oh, no, I take that back. Not King Drive, Michigan. All the black owned little shops over there, the liquor stores and all that. Yeah, those are black owned. And what I'm saying, open back up.
What I'm saying, a lot of them couldn't open up because of COVID. Right. Let's just be 100. So we're not gonna do that. That's the issue. That's what we're talking about. The issue is a lot of those businesses could not open up again because we were shut down because of a pandemic, and they needed the funds to come in from sales to be able to continue their businesses. And so therefore they could not move forward. Now, looting and the fire might have actually saved a lot of their ass because they got insurance checks to be able to prolong their business or rebuild if they wanted to. That's up to them.
Insurance. Some of them didn't have insurance.
Then that's bad business practice. It's just bad business practice. Because what I didn't see is over the weekend when them white boys was downtown in whatever state that was, and they had a big ass block party, a fraternity block party, and they flipped up all them cars and they set all that shit on fire. Ain't nobody call them terrorists. Ain't nobody asked them why they was setting up their own neighborhood. Ain't nobody asked them shit. Ain't nobody asked them shit. So I ain't trying to hear none of that. I want to be held to the same standard as Sizzy, Billy, and fucking Karen. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
But, you know, I love talking to y'all. It just is what it is. I love that everybody has different views, and I love that we can all have conversations without it being too deep. But y'all already know, if you want to re-listen to this podcast, you can re-listen to it on Facebook and YouTube or Twitter, or on your favorite podcast listening streaming service. That's Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, wherever the fuck you want to listen to it. I'm gonna be there. Okay. Make sure you follow your girl at Cubana Kiss on all social media platforms. And if you want to donate to the podcast, you can donate via Cash App. Cubana Kiss is the name for the Cash App. Send your coins so we can get some like other shit that we need for the podcast, you know? So it just is what it is. Until then, y'all, TTYL. Bye.
Holla at me.